What's up, everybody? It's your boy Season. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Metal Robot Spirits Sword Impulse Gundam Spec 2. So we're going to be taking a look at this today. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go. So let's see what we have in here, shall we? So of course, this is the Metal Robot Spirits manual. These are just those kind of paper manual things. I kind of like the booklet style that the Metal Build one get, but we have that. And then let's see what we got here. So of course we have the Sword Impulse Spec 2 here with his shield. That's the backpack there. Looks like the holder for the backpack. You do have his anti-ship swords there. So it looks like you get 4 of them. So that's new. And then you've got all of his hands there. Looks like you have the armored Schneiders there for the side skirts. You got those there. And then you have the base for the stand here. You do have the stand here as well. It looks very much like the Metal Build God Gundam. If you remember when I was talking about how that stand looked, it looks very similar to that. You've got his rail gun. So you got his rail guns there, you got some attachment pieces there, and then you have all of the effect parts for the Sword Impulse Spec 2. So pretty simple release. So let's take a look at the Sword Impulse himself. So let's take a look at this Impulse Gundam Spec 2. So I would say that he really looks good from a design perspective. I like what they've done here. I've always liked the Impulse just as a design. To me, it's almost like a better strike. Just the dimensions, it's kind of like it has the bottom part of the Freedom, just how it looks. And I think that they did really good work here. They got decals here, here. So they got decals all over the place here. You got some silver, some gunmetal silver there. You've got some die cast there in the knees, so I do like that. So it looks really, really good. And even on the side skirt there, you've got the ZGMF 56, it looks like S2, Spec 2. That's pretty small. But I think that they did really good work here. I like what they've done here. Even with the shield there, you've got a lot of good work in there. I do like and then even with the compass symbol here, with the Spec 2 there, he looks really, really good. I think they did really good work here. And then let's take a look at the back here. And then of course you've got the sword silhouette there with the ZGMF 56, looks like E2B. So we know what that means there with the decal work on there. So they did really good work here. I like what they've done here. I really do. The thing about the Metal Robots Spirits line for me is that I tend to like my figures to be slightly bigger than this. And that's why, like I said before, I'll probably be very selective as far as which Super Robot Spirits ones that I get, just because I like things that are bigger than this, because this is very, very tiny. This is really on the scale of a 1x144 high grade. So if you're someone who doesn't want to pay the Metal Build cost, but you want something that still looks good and is smaller, so from a collection standpoint, you could definitely put a lot of these in one DTOF versus a Metal Builder where you can only get maybe about 3 Metal Builds, 3 or 4 in a DTOF. You could probably get maybe like 8 of these, depending on how you pose them. So I think that they did really good work here. I think this looks spectacular. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a look at the Sword Impulse's articulation. I'm gonna be interested to see what his articulation is like. So we'll take a look at that next. So let's take a look at the Sword Impulse's articulation. For the head, he can go up. He's got 2 ball joints, one at the bottom of the neck and then one at the top there. Down, side to side. Not a lot of side to side, but he's got a little bit. He can spin 360. So mine's a little stiff, but that's what you got for the head. For the shoulder, he can go all the way up there. He can go in and out, and he can't spin 360 there. For the elbow, it will go up. That's about all as he'll get, but he does have a double joint here and here. Since there's no turn on the forearm, let's move to the wrist. He can go up, down, left, right. So that's all coming from that ball joint in there. So that's what you have for the wrist. For the midsection, he can go down, but not a lot. All right. He does have up, but not a lot either. From side to side. So he's got some articulation at the top points here. So he does have some good side to side. And then can he do 360? Let's see. I would say no, he can get about 45 degrees on that. I don't know if I'd want to, okay, there we go. Looks like we got it. It was just on there really, really tight, so I wasn't sure, but it does look like he can go 360. If I can get all of his stuff out of the way. So he can go 360. For the waist section, you do have the front skirts that will move independently of each other. So you do have that. For the side skirts, you can move those up and down. These do not come out, so you can put the armor Snyders in there. So those do not have that ability on this, but they do move around quite a bit. And then for the back, these will not move. So those are on there pretty snug. So he's not gonna be able to move the back skirts there for the back. For the legs, let's see what he's got for the thigh. So you can spin that. Looks like 180, 270, 360. So you won't have any problem with that there. It does move all the way out. Of course, his side skirt wants to pop off, but it can do that. For the leg, he can move it up about 90 degrees. Now you can move it more than that, but what'll happen is his front skirt will pop off, same with the sides. So he can do it about 90 degrees there. He does have about 90 degrees there. As you see, the side skirt comes off there. So he does have that. So for the knee, let's see what his knee bend looks like. So his knee bend does look pretty good there. So of course he has that sharp V there. So that looks pretty good for the knee. So for the foot, he can go up slightly. Of course, that's going to move the whole foot. It will go down, all right? He does have some side to side action there, so you can spin that if you like. It'll go about 270. Yeah, you can go 360 on that because it's on the ball joint there. No movement on the back ankle, of course. So you get slight movement, but that's really just the ankle up here. And what it is that the ball joint is die cast, but the rest of it is plastic in there. So that's what you have for the foot. So that's what we have for articulation. Overall, it's about what I expected. It has a good articulation, but I wouldn't say superior articulation, especially in the feet area. Also trying to move the thighs and the hips, that those will pop off when you try to move those up higher than probably they expect you to. So other than that, though, I think that it's good. Also that the midsection, you don't really get any give in the front or back. You get a little bit. I can understand that if you had a movable core splendor, but if you go to the back here, this thing is just kind of in here. So the fact that he can't go in, up or down all that much, I'm quite surprised by that. But I think overall, I still think that he's good. So here we have the Sword Impulse on his base. This is pretty much the way that I would probably have him displayed. I think he's at his best when he's airborne. So you do have the dual blades here. You do have the railgun there in the back. So all of that will connect. So this does look really, really good if you are a fan of the Impulse. I would say that I think that it's relatively basic as far as what it can do. And I am a little bit dismayed by its lack of ab articulation. I think that would kind of put him over the top. But I think the fact that he does get side to side pretty good, I think that does help him, even though he doesn't have a lot of really good ab articulation as far as front to back. So I think that that is okay. Now you can use for the shield. I don't think I went over the shield. With the shield for this guy, this will extend. You'll just have to remove it, kind of like on the metal build actually. You would just take this, flare those out there, and then put these back here. So you can have those back this way. All right, so we have it there, and then you can put this back on there. And then there you can have his shield flared out. So you can have that. So you do have that. And then for the back, he does have the beam boomerangs. So you can use those as well. You would just take that one off and then put this one on there like this, and then put that in his hand. So you do have those at your disposal as well. So I think overall that it is pretty good for what it is. I think that it does look really, really good. So, and then one last thing before, for this guy, this pretty much is for the Obari pose. So you can see how these are, this is way bigger than that one. So that's in order to have that kind of illusion there. And then you have this really small one there. So it's kind of like the Obari pose style of the blade there. So you can use that one if you have like a blade front pose like this. So that's what this other one was for. I was wondering why those didn't match because this one's like really small compared to this one. You see how small that one is? And then this one is really, really big, but that's what it's for. So it's for that Obari style pose there. So that's what you have for the other swords. So that's pretty much it. He's a pretty simple release. So now we'll get into final thoughts. So last thoughts on this guy, the Sword Impulse Spec 2. Now, I will say that I'm not really that fond of this style of red for the Impulse. I kind of like the original colors of the Sword Impulse. There's a lot more white than just all red. So for that, it's not really my favorite as far as color scheme is concerned. But I think as far as the actual figure itself, it is quite good. He has all the armaments that you would expect out of the Sword Impulse. We all like the new railgun that a lot of the suits have. His articulation is really good, considering that he doesn't have that much ab articulation. He has side to side, but not front to back, which is quite interesting to me, because to me, if you had given him the front to back articulation, I think this would have put it over the top as far as articulation is concerned. But I think other than that, he really doesn't have any issues. His articulation is good, the armaments are good, he can pretty much do any pose that you want to do and do it with minimum problems. He has a ton of accessories with a bunch of hands and all the different types of swords, so there's not really much to dislike here. So out of 10, I'm probably gonna give this guy a 9.4. I think that he is really, really solid. Now, for the Metal Robot Spirits line, I'm still a little confused as far as who this is actually for. Because if you are someone who's a metal build collector, I would say that this may not be your style, just because of the fact that it is very tiny. So it is a 1x144 scale, and it doesn't really have a lot of the surface detail that we're used to, the part separation and stuff like that when it comes to coloring of the metal build line in comparison. So I'm not really sure who this is for, because I mean, you wouldn't really want to give this to a kid either, because it's still expensive, still about 150 or so. And so I'm not sure if you'd want to give a kid this, or if you're just someone that says, I don't want to spend $400 plus on a metal build, and I like the 1x144 scale, then I guess this one is for you. But for me personally, as you guys know, this will probably be a sparingly kind of deal that I do with the Metal Robot Spirits line. I'm not going to do it for everyone, I think, because for me personally, it's just too small. So other than that, it's really, really good if you like the Impulse. I would say if it's over 150, I wouldn't get it. I would say that if you can get this one, because I got this one on sale in Japan, and I got it for about, I want to say it was like 130, 125-ish, if I'm not mistaken. So I would probably shoot for trying to find him on sale. I don't think he's super popular, the Sword Impulse, at least not this version of him. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I don't think you'll have a hard time trying to find him. I know that this one is a P Bandai, so you know, you might have to chalk up some money for that, but I probably wouldn't spend more than maybe about 130 on this guy. But anyway, so that's what I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. Send this one out to all of the Gundam Seed Freedom fans, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.